Namaskaram, Sadhguru. How to bring up the spirit of volunteering as a culture in an individual and in a society?
How to bring it up? See, if you hold something more important than yourself, you're naturally a volunteer. When you think too much of yourself, you can't be a volunteer. Essentially, being a volunteer simply means this: either you're a willing process of life or you're an unwilling process of life. So if you want to become a good volunteer, you must always be put in a place that you don't like. You must be made to do things that you hate to do. You must be made to work with people that you can't stand. Very important. If you get rid of your dislikes, you're a volunteer. See, we are athanic asapada people. We have no likes and dislikes, just like. We like it all. When we're desiring for all, obviously we like all, isn't it? So if you like every aspect of life, you're a volunteer. You like this, you don't like this, then you're a struggling human being. Wherever you are, you'll struggle. Wherever you are, you will put up some devious act because you're a prejudiced entity. You have divided the world. This creation is not indivisible, you know. If you look at this creation properly with open eyes, you can see it's indivisible. Nobody can ever divide this creation. There's no way to do it. Today modern science is proving this beyond any doubt, that everything in the existence is in constant transaction and it's indivisible. Now, when you divide the world in your mind between your likes and dislikes, your willingness and unwillingness, your love and hate, you're working against… what you're up against is not a small thing. You're up against the creation and the creator. Because that which you call as the creator is all-encompassing, no like and dislike. Yes? What you think is filth is nourishment for somebody, isn't it? Isn't it so? Those who get nourished by filth, you think they're fragrant and sweet. You know, the mango trees are yielding so well because they're sucking into the soak pit of the septic water. Isn't it? That's how the Isha mangoes are so sweet. Somebody sucks on filth and makes it into something which you think is fragrant and sweet. Where will you separate this? How will you separate this? Your discretion is employed only as to how to handle them, not like and dislike. Your discretion is about learning to handle the filth and the food in different ways. Your discretion is not about dividing the world as filth and food. So, the discriminatory process in your intellect, which should have helped you to handle life in a beautiful way, unfortunately you're using that to divide the world and suffer. So at least when you're here, start here. When you're here, you should not be able to see what is the difference between filth and a fruit. That… I'm not saying you go and eat the filth. No, your discretion is just about handling it in different ways. But there should be no attraction and aversion involved in this. You don't have to put filth on your plate and eat it. You put the fruit on your plate and eat it. But you have no aversion towards the filth. What you need to do with that, you do it properly with that. Once you create aversion and attraction, then you have divided the world. In this division, there is no volunteering. That is, you're no more a willing process of life. Once you're not willing, if you do anything unwillingly, it'll become your hell. If you do anything willingly, that'll become your heaven. Volunteers, anybody who is a volunteer at any moment in his life, he's in heaven because he's doing it willingly. If you do it unwillingly, the same activity will become your hell. So volunteering means it's a ladder to heaven. Ladder is hard to climb. It's a down slope to heaven. Because it looks like you're going down, but actually life becomes better and better and better in your experience. The more willing you become, whatever you're doing becomes wonderful. So if you are not a volunteer, either you will be suffering life or you will be living in the fear of suffering coming to you. Here and there you will have joy, but constantly with the fear of suffering attached. You will see people who have developed very strong likes and dislikes. Generally, for most people, this will happen as they become more successful. They think they have to have strong likes and dislikes about everything, otherwise they have no personality, you know. If you don't have a very strong sense of like and dislike, people will think you have no personality. You will have a personality, but you will have no presence. You will be empty. If you become a volunteer, you will have no personality. You will not have the torture of carrying a personality with you, but you will have a wonderful presence always. So volunteering is not a way of extracting work from you. If you have to not be like a ducktail which stays in water, never gets wet. If you should not be like a spoon in a soup, it stays in the soup all the time and never gets to taste it, then the only way is to be a true volunteer. The question is not about the volume of what you do, the willingness with which you breathe and walk and live, that makes you a volunteer.